All right. Hey, Gail, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So, Gail, why don't you start off and share just a little bit about what it is that you do?
Okay, so I'm a certified life coach for women veterans. I'm a veteran myself, so I'm very skilled in some of the problems women go through as they're in the military, some of the obstacles they face when they're leaving the military, some of the interpersonal relationship issues they have. And just so I chose to give back kind of and help guide women veterans into their unique answer to the question, what am I going to do now that I'm out? So they can enjoy a more fulfilling life and on their own terms.
Yeah, I love that. And I love your niche. And for people watching, like, that's an awesome niche, guys. Like, like there's lots of coaches out there, but, women veterans specifically, and they have specific needs that you can help with. So, very cool example of a great niche. And so, you and I, Gail, I was kind of thinking of the timeline. I'm like, we have worked together in different ways for like, I think over 2 years at this point.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you're in the mastermind now, but we've worked in different programs. So, what I'd love to hear about is just sharing a little bit around where you were before we started working together. Like, what was your situation? What did things look like?
hmm so before I started working with you, my business, it was lagging because there's so much noise out there from experts that I found myself chasing answers. And so I got to a point for, I wanted to scale my business up and kind of um, define it more narrowly. And I wasn't able to do that. I had all this analysis paralysis. And so I just was kind of stuck. I didn't have the best structure to my business. And that's not to say like either sole proprietorship or what have you. It's structure in like in the military, if I were to say like operations tempo. My plan, my daily plan, my routine, my automation. I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants and I didn't want to admit it to anybody, to include myself.
Mm,
And a lot of that, it caused a lot of stress in my personal life because by my nature, I thrive with structure. And
mm.
I have a lot of structure in my personal life, but I couldn't get there to the point that I was satisfied before I started working with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge because I think that, we think that in certain areas of our life, we, do well with structure. And then certain areas we just like can't get it together. And it's also because we're so close to it. And so we need like outside perspective. And we need,
Definitely.
yeah, it's like there's certain things that I'm really good at in my business, but like, getting me to the gym is like a whole other story. So I have to hire experts for that.
Yeah.
So that's a great example. So what kind of things, what kind of changes have you seen, or like what are the things that have happened since that time when you were like in this place of I need structure, I need help? What are the changes that you've seen?
Uh-huh. Well, from the big picture of it, um, my operations tempo, it flows a lot better. It's more genuine, it's more intentional, and it's just more strategic, structured, persistent. My social media is up, my following is up, it's probably almost tripled. I kind of started venturing now into Instagram, as well as Facebook. I started my own Facebook group. So a lot of the stuff on the back end, and not just social media, that's just an example, but I've been able to, with your help, kind of figure out the back end
Mm,
of the business, because everybody just thinks, hey, I can sell watches or I can do coaching, but you have to have the system in the
yeah.
back or it just doesn't work. And so now that I've got that hammered out, it's almost fully automated on autopilot. Now I have more time to do the things that I love in my work
Mm.
because I'm not drowning in the minutia of everyday non-revenue generating activities, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we talk about that a lot, like revenue generating activities versus like the million other things you could do to like fritter the time away.
Yes, yes.
Right? Like just because you're on Facebook all day doesn't mean you're working on your business. And so the automation, the systems, I always say that's the sexy stuff, even though it sounds like the boring stuff. It's actually the cool stuff that gets your business to the next place.
Right.
So
It's not sexy when you're working on it, but
yeah,
when at the end, it's super sexy.
right. Like putting it into place is one thing, but what it actually results in is another story. So
Mhm.
could you share more about like kind of the benefits you see, especially in the mastermind? Like, what have the benefits been? What have the results been? What are some of the good parts of the mastermind that you really want to let people know about?
Mhm. Well, in thinking about it, as far as the mastermind goes, I think the number one benefit that I've gotten from it is that because of everything I've learned from you, and it's not just marketing and targeting and structure and systems and all of that, it's it's watching you engage with your clients, i.e. me. And I
Mm,
get to see firsthand she actually knows what she's talking about and she actually walks her own walk. And her, we talk about building your know, like, and trust. And I watch you do that within our own mastermind.
mm,
And all of that collectively, plus, I mean, there's a lot of, you weave a lot of money mindset stuff
mm.
into what we
Yeah.
talk about. And so all of that, I believe it's made me a better coach to
Mm.
my clients because I pick up little things that you do and I'm making that a note.
Yeah.
And I've also, I know my perceived value to my clients has skyrocketed.
Mm.
And so I can command higher price points for things, especially with the money mindset. I'm not afraid to do that.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest thing that I've gotten from that. Because of that, I was figuring the other day, I think my annual income now is up to, it's almost 35%
Oh, that's
from when I
fabulous.
started. So I'm very happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, the money mindset, like you said, I weave it in, I kind of sneak it in, like but it's such a big part of it. Like
Yeah.
I used to think strategy was everything, because I'm very like strategic and brass tacks and like, how are we going to do this email campaign, um, and yet it's really like 90% mindset when it comes down to it, and like 10%.
Yeah. You're a mindset ninja. You're absolutely a mindset ninja.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always working on it. It's like a never-ending thing. You don't become like, nirvana of mindset. Um,
Yeah.
but it's huge. It's a huge piece of success. So what would you say for, people who might be thinking about, oh, I'm considering working with Christine. What would you say has been, the best part of investing in yourself this way, and not just money, right? It's also time, energy, effort. What would you say to somebody who's thinking about potentially working with me and wondering if it's a good investment of those things in their in their
Uh-huh.
life, in their business?
Uh-huh. So I think it's a great return on investment, especially because, I think where I was, me, I still work a full-time job and my goal is to get off that.
Mhm.
Um, so a lot of people may be thinking that, oh, I'm not really in their league, or I only do this part-time, or I'm just now starting my business and I don't, I'm not doing it 100% of the time. And to me, from my experience, that's absolutely what makes the Impact Academy that much more beneficial
Yeah.
because, it's like you said, it's not just money, it's time, this and that. But time, to me, time is money.
Yeah.
Time is money because I do still work full time. And so I have a shorter amount of time than people who do it full time. And it gives me the ability with working in the Impact Academy with you. It's very structured. It's very intentional. It's very compacted. And you make, like, the live events, you make us do the work right there. You're
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm gonna give you 30 minutes and you better be done, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so time is money to me. And never mind the increase in sales of all that comes along with it. But I tell people I made my investment back in Impact Academy probably first 4 or 5 months just in time saved because it's there's always an opportunity cost for
Yeah.
time. And I recouped all of that just working with you in those few months. And I don't even think I've ever told you that, but I did.
Oh, so thank you for sharing that. Yeah, no, I love that. The opportunity cost. We don't think about that. It's like time is money, and it cracks me up. I have to share that you have we have a hashtag. You have a hashtag of commuting with Christine.
Yes.
Yeah, so before COVID, you were commuting to work, and now you're not doing that as much, but you were always, on the trainings, like, using your time wisely. So, I mean, like, we have all different kinds of people who sign up in the mastermind. There's people who still have jobs, who no longer have jobs, they're full time in their business. Some people join and they actually don't even want to leave their job, but they want to have like a side hustle that, brings in extra income. So I love that you're sharing, like, you're an example of one of those people that, you know, you're doing it your way.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing
Mm-hmm.
it your way. And
Exactly.
I love that about you. So yeah,
Yeah.
hashtag commuting with Christine.
Hashtag commuting with Christine.
We love that. We love that.
I miss it kind of.
I know, in a weird way. I'm sure you don't miss the drive necessarily, but
No, I
yeah,
don't.
that, that opportunity. Well, thank you, Gail. Any last parting words you want to share with anyone who's watching this who might be wondering, should I really take the time to work with a coach? Like, you're a coach yourself. And I believe if you're a coach, you should have a coach, especially.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
what would you say about having that gift of coaching in your life, and having that benefit?
I would say, if for anybody out there wanting to, who's on the fence about working with you, I would say the same thing that I say to my coaching clients. I tell them to step back, let go, and say yes. Step back from your small picture and kind of really look at everything that you've spent money, invested money in, wasted money on, and look at the value. Christine, you provide so much value. You value bomb all the time without even saying value bomb. I mean, step back, let go of that little voice that tells you it's too expensive, it's not going to work, it's not for you. All those little negatives, the negative Nancy's in your mind. And then just say yes to it. Last year, well, the year before I joined Impact Academy, remember we had a conversation and I was on the fence.
Yes.
And I didn't let myself say yes. At the 11th hour, I didn't let myself say yes.
I remember
And
that.
then this time around, I was at a point where I just let myself say yes. And it's a big ask. It's a big ask financially, time-wise, whatever. But that big ask is a stretch. And you stretch your clients from the moment that you ask, especially for, a mastermind, a year-long commitment, but when I got to that point, you have made me, I'll speak for myself, you make me think big and plan big and act big, execute big, ask big, and
Yeah.
and by you doing that, and like I said, watching you do all of that, I wish I'd have done it that year that I didn't let myself say yes. So I would say, if you're on the fence, I've worked with several coaches, but I will I'll probably always be on Team Christine, because she's the most real, genuine, positive coach, and it works for me, and you're my jam, so
Aww.
I mean, she gives so much support, so much value. Just step back, let go, say yes. That's what I would recommend.
I love that. That's amazing advice for people. There's a little bit of surrender there, like surrendering to the fact that, like, you can't do it on your own, can't do it all. You need to get help. You need to get outside your own, space. Like, my friend has a saying. She always says, you can't see you can't see the picture when you're the frame. Like, you got to kind of
Yeah.
step out of it, right? And coaching can help you see that, right?
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, Gail, how can people connect with you? And if they have questions, is it okay if they, give you a little message, or, ask you maybe about your experience? Where can they find you and connect with you online?
Well, if they have any questions, they can always, you can have them always reach out to me. I will always um, be there and answer honestly. Sorry, I had another call that just beeped in. And then to find me, I'm GailKemeliotis.com. That's my website. Facebook group, Vetrepreneurs Lounge, Women Vetrepreneurs Lounge. My name is hard to spell, but if you put in Gail K, it's going to show up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Instagram, Gail Kemeliotis, the same thing. So, yeah, that's my thing. And like I said, if anybody has any questions that they want to, more information or more discussion on, I'm totally available.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate
Mhm.
that. And
Yes,
thank you for chatting with me today. And
certainly. I
anybody,
love it.
yeah, anybody who has questions for Gail, she's so approachable, like she's so cool. And Gail, you're my jam too. I just love that you said that. You're my jam.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, awesome.
Uh,
All right. Well, thank you, Gail.
Bye.
Bye.